So I've been getting this question a fair bit from you guys lately, asking me if I'm ever afraid of cops showing up on my front doorstep and taking me away and throwing me to a prison cell and getting gang raped or some shit, I don't know. Like essentially getting my life completely ruined for making these type of videos. Now I'm not going to lie to you guys and tell you that I'm 100% fearless and I'm never afraid of the consequences for making this type of content. To be honest, this is just one of those things that I don't focus on. Because if I do, then it's just going to amplify way too much and it's going to get too overwhelming, and either the quality of these videos are going to go down or I'm just going to stop making videos altogether, at least on psychedelics. And don't get me wrong, it's not one of those like, you know, ignorance is bliss and putting my head in the sand and like, oh, if I can't see it, it didn't happen kind of ignorant attitude, right? This is just something that I feel in my core being that I have to do. It's something that my heart and my gut is screaming at me to do, regardless of what my mind tells me. Do I feel scared sometimes? Of course I do. I'm still human. I have an ego, I have a mind. Sometimes these little fears do amplify and I get fucking terrified. But I know that this is just part of the journey. I know that there's going to be a lot of challenges that's going to come my way. But again, this is just something that I have to do. I'm very well aware that psychedelics are very illegal substances. Here in Australia, they're a Class A substance, which is equivalent to Schedule 1 for those living in the US. And what's really hilarious and really ironic is that for a substance to be under Class A or Schedule 1, it has to have zero medicinal or therapeutic use and have a high chance of abuse. See, this kind of shit like hurts my head thinking about. And it just goes to show that laws aren't based on science and logic. I mean, what? Curing clinical depression, severe anxiety, PTSD, and a lot of these treatment-resistant mental illnesses doesn't classify as therapeutic or medicinal use? Apparently not. You know, one of the main reasons that keeps me going is knowing that there are so many sick people out there, so many people who are unnecessarily suffering in this world, who are in desperate need of healing, of some medicine. Now, psychedelics have been repressed for so long, and it's disgusting knowing that our government can actually stop people from getting the medicine that they need. And what's even more scary is the masses of people supporting these laws, you know? But I must say that I'm very grateful for living in this country and knowing that our drug laws could be much worse. Now, I'm not saying that our political party is perfect, far, far from it, but at least with our drug laws, it could be worse. I mean, hey, it's not as good as Portugal, how they've decriminalized all drugs, and look what happened. Drug use went down, prison population went down, and just overall crime went down because they decided to work on the social infrastructure instead of punishing people for altering their state of consciousness via a drug. You see how ridiculous it is? Well, of course you guys do. See, here in Australia, you cannot get arrested and get thrown in a prison for possession. I mean, of course, if the cops have heaps of evidence on you for trafficking and stuff like that, then yeah, you can get in a lot of shit. But if it's only possession, then 9 times out of 10, you're just going to get slapped on the wrist. I remember once I got busted for having an ounce of weed by the cops, and all I got was a caution. And I remember that day, me and my mate were like just about to roll a joint in the park, and then these 4 or 5 cops came around the corner, and we were cornered and we're like, fuck. And I remember getting ready to like run, and one of the cops just yells, don't even think about it, mate, we're fast. I'm like, oh, should I not? Fuck it, it's not worth it. Like, it would have been really stupid running away for marijuana, you know what I mean? Because if I did run away and I got caught, then I would be in trouble. But I was so pissed off that day because we didn't even get to smoke up, so we got caught completely sober, and they took an ounce of my fucking weed. But yeah, like I said, all I got was a caution. And then I hear in the US how people can get arrested, like literally get thrown in a cage, ruin their fucking life, makes it really hard for them to travel and get a job and get an education in the future for having a plant. And it's things like that that make me super grateful to be living here. So knowing that I can't get arrested for drug possession makes it a lot easier. And to be honest, I don't think it's like you can't get arrested for possession here. It's just one of those things that cops don't really give a shit about. And of course, it depends on what cop you get. But you might get some like dick old school cop who would actually give you a caution for a gram of weed. And I remember talking to the cops when I got busted with weed, and one of them's like, yep, if I caught you with a gram of weed, I would still book you in, whilst the other 4 cops was like, nah, they don't give a shit. And I remember one of the cops was saying like, fuck, I wish weed was legal so I can smoke up. So like, a lot of these cops are pretty cool with it. And one of my friends is a cop, and he's telling me that like 80% of the cops in his department want weed to be legalized. So it's good knowing that the overall drug stigma is improving, but there are still a lot of people who are stuck in that old paradigm of thinking. And hey, I've been really careful with this channel, making sure I give disclaimers and just being careful of what I put in what video. At least in the past year. I know when I first started this channel, I was a little bit more reckless and not really, you know, sharing the negatives of the drugs and stuff like that. And hey, technically I've only got one video of a live drug experience with my girlfriend, which I said was fake in the intro anyway. And it definitely was fake because my girlfriend has never tried any illegal substance, and neither have I, because we like to obey the law and don't want to get in trouble. And you know, it's funny with the drug laws here because I was talking with a friend, it was like a month ago or something, about psilocybin mushrooms, and we started Googling the current Australian laws, and we were reading that picking mushrooms is definitely very illegal, and on paper you can actually serve prison time for an unspecified amount, meaning that even if you just had a handful of mushrooms, you can go to jail. But then when you step back and look at this situation, no one has been arrested for picking mushrooms in Australia for the last 30 years. So again, like I was saying, on paper, these substances are very illegal and just overall drug possession is illegal, but no one actually gets arrested for it. And who knows, maybe because there's just so many bigger problems out there, like this ice epidemic, and you know, cops actually have real criminals to look out for, not just people tripping on mushrooms, you get me? And you know, what's really funny is that on paper, you can get more in trouble for the possession of mushrooms than the possession of cocaine. And you know, it just makes me laugh just imagining like picking mushrooms and getting busted by a cop and being like, "Oh boys, what have you got there?" It's like, it's cocaine, officer, I swear. It's like, you know what I mean? And that will get you less in trouble than psilocybin. But you know, whatever. But yeah guys, that's about it. I'm gonna wrap this video up. Like I said, for the most part, I'm not afraid of the consequences in terms of the law, but sometimes I really do get afraid. It just depends on the moment. Funny, because every time I have like a psychedelic journey, then these fears will be very, very fucking real, and I'll freak out, and sometimes I'll think that cops are going to be after me and I'm going to get locked up and shit like that. But you know, I'm just going to hope for the best and just be very careful on how I make this type of content. And hopefully people wake up sooner better than later and don't treat the law like gospel. It's pretty fucked up how people view drugs as this demonic entity, yet cigarettes and alcohol is like, oh no, that's fine, because it's legal, so it's good. And even though I'm telling you guys right now that it's not the law I'm afraid of, it's actually more my family and my girlfriend's family and my workplace finding out. That's actually the stuff that really terrifies me. And I know that it's inevitable. I already have a few people in my workplace who found out about this channel from searching it on YouTube. Luckily that the people who do know about my channel are cool and I trust them to keep it quiet, at least until I'm in this job. But you know, it's just stuff like this that scares me. And like with my family, not so much. Like I would care a little bit, but I would get over it. It's more my girlfriend's family, because they're like, whoo, yeah, they would not be happy. I could imagine them trying to get me to completely remove a lot of these videos, especially ones involving my girlfriend. And again, it's one of those things. My girlfriend's family drink alcohol all the fucking time, and yeah, that's fine. But then when it comes to marijuana, whoa, no, that's bad. And if they think that about weed, imagine what they're going to think about mushrooms. Anyways, we'll get to it when we get to it. But yeah, that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any video requests, please let me know in the comments below. Give this video a like and share it with a friend. It really does help us out. But yeah, I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing regardless of what challenges and fears come up. I just got to persevere because I know that in my core it's the right thing to do. And there have been many times that I've wanted to quit this channel, and I still do to some extent, especially with the psychedelic stuff. And I've got a lot of footage of, like, for example, me picking mushrooms. I was been meaning to do a guide and stuff like that, but I'm like, oh, I don't know if I should put that up, at least while I'm working. And I don't know, we'll see. For those who've been supporting me on Patreon, you guys are legends. Keep doing what you're doing. And for those who want to get behind this movement and support what I'm doing, go check out Patreon. I'll leave a link in the description below. Have an awesome day. I'll catch you guys on the next video. Peace.